So if you're in healthcare or, you know someone who is, that word, burnout, it's all too familiar, right? It's this huge systemic problem. But what if I told you there's a powerful, research-backed tool that could actually help turn that tide? Well, today we are diving deep into exactly that, the practice of clinical supervision.
Just take a second and be really honest with yourself. Have you ever had a day, or maybe a week, or shoot, even a whole month, that feels just like this? For so many of us, the answer is a big, resounding yes.
And you know, that feeling, it can look different for everybody. Sometimes that overwhelm is right there on the surface for everyone to see. But other times, all that chaos is happening on the inside, while you're putting on that brave face, just saying, yep, I'm fine, everything's fine.
Okay, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the overwhelmed workforce, then talk about creating a space to reflect. We'll get into what clinical supervision actually is, how it works, and cover the proven benefits. And finally, we'll look at how it can help you go from burnout to a real breakthrough. So, let's start by digging into the scale of the problem.
Right. First things first, it is so important to get this. This isn't just you feeling bad. It's not an individual problem. It is the direct result of a massive, system-wide challenge.
So here's what's happening. Health systems are absolutely desperate for staff. That means you've got this huge wave of junior professionals coming into the workforce really, really fast. Now, they need support, right? But their senior colleagues are already completely swamped trying to give it. And what's the result? We risk burning out and losing our most experienced people, the very folks we need to guide the next generation. It becomes this vicious cycle, and frankly, the surveys show it. A lot of people are already planning their way out.
But what if there was a way to break that cycle? A real structured and protected way to process the incredible burdens that come with the job?
I mean, think about it. Every single day you carry the weight of it all. Tricky conversations with colleagues, tough patient outcomes, all those little workplace conflicts. And we carry it right home with us, where it just stews and builds up into something much bigger. The solution really starts with creating a dedicated space to actually work through all that stuff.
And that leads us right to the heart of it all, clinical supervision. Now, it's a term you might have heard tossed around, but what does it actually mean? It's way more than just a quick chat.
Okay, so here's the formal textbook definition. It's a structured process for support and learning. It helps you grow, take real ownership of your practice, and at the end of the day, it improves patient safety. It's a real professional development activity.
But okay, let's get real. What does it actually feel like? This is my absolute favorite way to put it. It's a confidential space where you can finally, safely talk about the things that are genuinely getting under your skin at work without any fear of it getting back to your manager.
And here's another brilliant way to frame it. It's like dedicated time for some mental and emotional housekeeping. You're basically tidying up all those unresolved conflicts and stresses from your work life that are just cluttering up your mind.
So the key thing to remember is that this is a formal, confidential process. You meet up regularly, maybe an hour a month, with a trained supervisor. And you can bring any topic to the table: a difficult colleague, uncertainty about your career path, those feelings of burnout. But here's the most important part. The supervisor is not there to give you the answers. They are there to guide you through a really structured reflection process to find your own solutions. This is not mentoring. It is pure empowerment.
So, what does a session actually look like? Well, it's not always just talking. Supervisors use a whole range of techniques, and some of them are, well, they're fascinatingly interactive. Let's look at one really powerful example. It's called the play of life.
Okay, picture this. A table with a mat on it, and a whole bunch of little figures and props. Instead of a direct face-to-face and maybe kind of confrontational conversation, you use these characters to literally build a scene and tell the story of what happened. It is so much less intimidating because your focus is on the scene in front of you, not on trying to maintain eye contact while talking about something really tough.
The process itself is just brilliantly simple, but it's also incredibly profound. So first, you build the scene, just as it happened. Then you talk through it. Now the next step, this is the key. You build a second scene showing how you would have wanted it to happen. And by exploring that gap, what it took to get from the reality to the ideal, that's where you discover your own path forward, your own solution.
And this is where the magic happens. By putting the problem out there literally on the table, you can see it from a totally new angle. This often leads to what supervisors call an aha moment. You know, that sudden, powerful realization that, oh, I was actually part of the problem, or a completely new understanding of where the other person was coming from. That kind of self-realization, well, that's the first step toward making a real change.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But what's the actual payoff? Well, this whole thing has been embedded in professions like social work and psychology for years, so it's heavily researched. And you might be thinking, well, if it's so amazing, why isn't it everywhere? And that usually comes down to practical stuff, like cost, finding the time, getting your organization to buy in. But the data, it really shows the investment is more than worth it. Let's look at why.
The benefits are they're holistic. They touch everyone. So for you, the practitioner, it means better skills, way more confidence, better problem solving. For your patients, that translates directly into more safety, better care, and better outcomes. And for your organization, it means they keep their staff longer, there are fewer complications, and they get more positive feedback. You can see how this creates this amazing positive feedback loop. A supported, confident professional gives better care, which helps patients, which in turn reduces risk for the organization and creates a culture people actually want to stick around for.
Ultimately, what we're talking about here is a fundamental shift in how you experience your work. It's about moving from a state of just constant struggle to one of empowered progress. So many of us in healthcare feel exactly like this every single day, just pushing this massive boulder up a steep hill, feeling completely exhausted, totally unappreciated, and like you're getting absolutely nowhere. Clinical supervision offers a completely new path, and this just illustrates the goal so brilliantly. The challenges, the rough seas, they're still going to be there. Work is always going to have tough spots, but instead of fighting against them, you learn how to work with them, how to navigate them, turning that negativity into something you can actually use, so you can come home a little bit happier and maybe, just maybe, stay in the career you love a little bit longer. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. What if you could actually transform the daily pressure of your job into fuel for progress? This isn't just some fantasy. It's a proven, structured process that's gaining more and more traction. If any of this resonates with you, keep an eye out for it where you work. Talk to your colleagues about it. Ask your leadership about clinical supervision. Because when they invest in you, they're a whole lot more likely to keep you.